The new deputy police chief turns out to be a disappointment for the government and pushes forward the investigation of the Plus Ultra case, which implicates Zapatero and Pedro Sánchez. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez with new exclusive information as always here on this channel, on this great channel that all of you make possible, Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. Pay close attention because the new Deputy Operational Director of the National Police, that is the top officer in the uniformed police, has turned out to be a disappointment for the government. And pay attention, he is pushing forward the investigation of the Plus Ultra case, which implicates José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero and Pedro Sánchez. Don't miss this video, stay until the end because we're going to give you all the information exclusively. And if you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel with Miguel Ángel Pérez because we're already on our way to those 150,000 subscribers. We're already sharing this information. There you have the image of Zapatero, who, as you know, has to appear tomorrow at the National Court this Wednesday and this Thursday. So pay attention, the new Deputy Operational Director of the National Police, known as the DAO, José Santa Fe, has pushed forward the investigation against the former Prime Minister, José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, within the framework of the Plus Ultra case. The head of the Central Investigative Court No. 4 of the National Court, José Luis Calama, will take a statement from the former Prime Minister this Wednesday for offences including participation in a criminal organization, influence peddling, forgery, money laundering, tax offences and smuggling. All of this comes after rejecting his second request for a postponement. The Minister of the Interior, Fernando Grande Marlaska, chose last March the Chief Commissioner, José Santa Fe, who until then was the Chief of Police of the Balearic Islands, as the new DAO, that is, as the new Deputy Operational Director of the Police. Santa Fe replaced José Ángel González Shaque in the position, who was forced to resign, as you may remember, on February 17th after being investigated for an alleged crime of sexual assault against a subordinate. The investigation of the Plus Ultra case regarding the alleged irregular use of the 53 million euros that the government granted to the airline as a bailout is in the hands of the Economic and Fiscal Crime Unit of the National Police UDEF and the Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. Police sources we consulted on Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez and at Libertad Digital tell us that the appointment of the new DAO, José Santa Fe, has been key to reactivating the investigation of the Plus Ultra case, which implicates Zapatero. The alleged criminal acts committed by the former Prime Minister have been known for 2 years, but the previous DAO of the police, José Ángel González, had everything on hold. This is what they tell us. The same sources consulted point out that the new DAO, José Santa Fe, has gotten out of the government's control. Pedro Sánchez's socialist government thought they would be able to control Santa Fe, just like José Ángel González, but he backfired on them. In addition, the UDEF agents themselves are eager to reclaim their work after being sidelined for years by the Ministry of the Interior under Fernando Grande Marlaska. The investigation of the Plus Ultra case moved from Madrid's Court of Instruction No. 15 to the National Court at the end of February, just 2 weeks after DAO José Ángel González resigned. Judge Esperanza Collazos, who was in charge of Madrid's Court of Instruction No. 15, decided to decline jurisdiction in favor of Judge José Luis Calama of the National Court, considering that this case had entered a new dimension. Here is a picture of José Santa Fe, the new DAO of the police, who is simply doing his job, just what he was supposed to do. And that does him credit, and of course we support him from Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez for having managed to push forward a UDEF investigation in the National Police, which had been stalled under the previous DAO. Remember, we recall that the magistrate of the National Court, José Luis Calama, ordered this Friday the opening of a separate proceeding to investigate Zapatero for tax and smuggling offenses in relation to the jewelry found during the search carried out on May 19th in the office of the former president of the government, whose origin is currently not justified, said the judge, and whose value has been preliminarily appraised at 1.3 million euros. According to Kalama, the absence of customs documentation, import invoices, or any proof of customs clearance makes it impossible to rule out that the jewelry was brought into Spain outside of customs control procedures, far exceeding the quantitative threshold of 150,000 euros established for criminal liability. Let me remind you that in the last few hours, Judge Kalama has also rejected the new request to postpone his testimony made by Zapatero, precisely so he wouldn't have to answer all these questions related to the jewelry, with those 1.3 million euros in jewelry that were found in a safe in one of his offices. And now let's review the track record of the new DAO. José Santa Fe joined the National Police in 1990 as a cadet in the Executive Corps. During his early years in his career, he worked as an inspector in various positions related to public safety, judicial police, and immigration, with posts in the regional police headquarters in Madrid and the Balearic Islands. In 2005, he was promoted to Chief Inspector and in 2012 to Commissioner. During this period, he held various positions of responsibility in the regional police headquarters in the Canary Islands and again in the Balearic Islands, where he continued to develop much of his professional career. In 2020, he reached the highest rank within the force, that of Chief Commissioner. 2 years later, he was appointed Chief of Police in the Balearic Islands, a position he had held since July 2022 and from which he now joins the operational leadership of the National Police Corps. The new DAO holds a teaching diploma from the Complutense University of Madrid and has completed numerous training courses related to police work. Among them are programs on hate crimes, strategic management of public security, international cooperation in security matters, leadership and digital transformation within the police. And this is the information we reveal on Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. The new Deputy Operational Director of the National Police, José Santa Fe, has been fundamental in driving the investigation of the so-called Plus Ultra case, which directly implicates Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez and former Prime Minister José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero. The new Deputy Operational Director of the Police has pushed forward this investigation, which had been stalled in recent years. Since the previous Deputy Operational Director, who was replaced and had to resign due to that sexual assault case, José Ángel González, had left the investigation stalled. Good news! There are still decent police officers in senior ranks in Spain, and that's good news. And that this Deputy Operational Director turned out to be a disappointment for Pedro Sánchez's government and the Socialist Party, and that he is doing his job and pushing the investigation of the case forward. Plus Ultra is, of course, good, really great news for all of us. Of course, any news about this Plus Ultra case, about Zapatero, about Pedro Sánchez, about any kind of corruption we're suffering in Spain, you'll find it, as always, on Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. That's all for this edition of Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is going to happen with Zapatero? Leave your opinions. You know I love reading them. All your comments, all the ones I can, and your messages of encouragement, which come every day and never stop, really thank you so much. And you already know that you can become members of Medidas Cautelares with Miguel Ángel Pérez, like the Chosen for less than €3 a month, or like the Supreme for less than €7 a month. You can also contribute via Bizum at 627-55-63-6370, 627-55-63-6370. The most important thing, as I always tell you, is that this information reaches everyone, because information is power. See you soon.